Well, in Somalia, since 2013, hundreds of fighters have left the militant group Al-Shabaab. Some of them are getting a chance at a fresh start thanks to a UN-backed program. Jason Pattinkin has the story.
It's a common scene in Somalia, but this football game in a fortified compound in Baidoa town is different. The players are all former members of the Al-Qaeda affiliate in Somalia, Al-Shabaab. They defected and were selected for rehabilitation instead of jail time. There are 160 men enrolled here now. This young man joined Al-Shabaab after Ethiopian troops fighting the militant group in Somalia killed his father. He left Al-Shabaab 6 years later, sickened by the group's infighting and attacks on civilians. He asked VOA not to use his name as he continues to receive threatening phone calls from Al-Shabaab.
I have lost 6 years. The people who I was with in high school, they are in university, they are in the town, and if you see them, they are hopeful. Before I get to 30, I hope to catch up with them.
At the center, former combatants take literacy, life skills, and religion classes. They develop business plans funded by the center to support themselves after graduation. But their past is never far away.
Absolutely, I cannot go to where Al-Shabaab are, and if I go into the town, the community might not feel safe. So the best thing is just to stay here at the center.
Some of them will argue with you. So we will say to them, okay, if you believe in this and we believe in that, let's sit down with the Holy Quran and the Hadith, and you do your research. And if your interpretation is correct, we go with this. If mine is correct, we go with that. Because we are Muslims, we have to debate in a constructive way.
So far, no graduates from Baidoa have rejoined Al-Shabaab, according to the center's managers, but the process is far from perfect. But Patrick Lutz, who designs the program, says the rehabilitation center remains vital.
This has created some kind of reassurance to some groups in Al-Shabaab to start reaching out to the current government and say, let's talk a peace deal. And they have directly connected to this program. So this is much bigger than we think. And I believe that even though it's a drop in the ocean, it's a drop in the ocean with the right people.
And for participants, the rehab center offers hope of a second chance. Jason Pattinkin for VOA News in Baidoa, Somalia.
Well, militants can indeed wreak havoc. Adamawa State is one of the worst hit states from the Boko Haram insurgency. Indigenes of Madagali, a farming community, are at the moment trying to rebuild their lives there, but the odds may be stacked against them. Well, Channel's correspondent Freedom Haslon compiled this report.
Life is gradually returning to normal in Madagali, a town bordering the dreaded Sambisa forest, whose residents previously fled from Boko Haram attacks. The residents, who acknowledge the efforts of the security forces in restoring and maintaining peace in the area, say they are happy to be home, but they lament the devastating effect of the attacks.
The situation of Madagali is serious. If we talk and we people are saying Madagali is the most worst hit regarding the issue of this insurgency, people thought that maybe we are just shouting. We are not shouting. But the issue of security, we are very grateful to this government. Issue of security, we are very grateful. We are here purposely because of issue of peace, because of the peace.
Predominantly subsistence farmers, the people of Madagali are returning to farming, which was disrupted but now grapple with limited resources.
Getting fertilizer is very difficult. Getting people to work is very difficult. And that's why the farm now, you can look at it and see some grasses all over. So when we came back, there is nothing to be afraid of after everything has gone up, apart from the life I have. So they say, let me go in, whether I die or not. So that's how I started.
They're determined to move on with their lives, but the scars of their harrowing experiences remain.
Sometimes we recall this with tears. People, they hide in places you don't expect them to hide. Some will you'll see them in the afternoon moving around, but in the night they will go somewhere to sleep, maybe under a tree, on a tree. So unbelievable.
The state government explains its plan to cushion the effect of the attacks on the people's economies.
We have put in all types of initiatives in place, and some of them we have already commenced implementation, but with difficulty. But the intentions of the state government is to be able to provide access to our farmers to affordable finance in a very timely manner.
One thing the government hopes to achieve in this period is to provide necessary supports to help farmers commence commercial farming to be able to generate revenue for themselves and the state.
You're watching Africa 54. I'm Vincent McCory. Now, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, presidential elections have been delayed by nearly 2 years, and the political crisis has affected an already struggling economy. Emily Eob reports.
The normally bustling streets of capital Kinshasa are empty. It's October 19th, and the opposition has called a general strike to press President Joseph Kabila to step down at the end of his second mandate in December. But some, like charcoal trader Mireille Samba, simply can't afford politics.
I agree with the idea of the strike. It teaches the authorities to listen to the people. But I had to go to work today because there is no food at home. If I had not, my children would have gone hungry today, so I came out, despite the risks, to try to sell a little.
More than half of Congolese live below the poverty line, and the political impasse is not helping an already weakened economy. The global slump in commodity prices has hit Africa's biggest copper producer. The local currency, the Congolese franc, has slid significantly against the dollar, officially by more than 10% this year, but as much as 25% on the black market.
When the local currency loses value, it means that most of the imported goods will cost more, and that will impact people's purchasing power.
At Kinshasa's main market, traders have had to raise prices.
This is bad for everyone. You see us now at 3 p.m. already packing up and going home. It is because there are no customers.
Political headquarters in Kinshasa still bear the scars of violent protests last month that killed over 50 people, according to right groups. Continued unrest could deter foreign investors. Foreign investment dropped the country's surge in GDP growth prior to 2015.
If all the political parties find an agreement, it will be okay. But if they do not, it will affect the economy and impact inflation.
The path to consensus looks cloudier than ever. The majority of the opposition has rejected an agreement signed this week. That deal keeps Kabila in office until elections, now pushed to April 2018. Emily Eob for VOA News in Kinshasa.
It's now time for a short break, but before we go, a reminder to visit our website, channelstv.com, for all the latest information day or night. You can also find us at youtube.com/channelsweb. Still to come, the internet has become a vital aspect of our life. The web is also a key driver of growth and development on the continent. Well, that story after the break.